Get around, hunters, and welcome to another episode of Starfleet Command. Orion Pirates. I am Fleet Admiral Tarek of the heavy battlecruiser Ancient Kings. As we continue our campaign of what remains of the Romulan Star Empire, we have destroyed the last of their planets. They now belong to us, so now there's just a couple of stations left between us and total victory. So, without further ado, let us continue on our little purge campaign of the rest of Romulan territory. And to start things off for today, we shall take on an MET-10 patrol, a straight-up duel between one or a few ships, and nothing really much to it, especially with our heavy bombardment cruiser. The amount of firepower that we dish out is almost unreal. Every single salvo that we fire is 44 missiles. If we start stacking salvos, we can get much higher than that. Now, granted, 36 of those missiles only do 1/6 of the damage of a normal missile. However, once you do the full equations on down on that one, it becomes 14 missiles, which is more than a dreadnought, more than a battleship. It's rather terrifying, and I have a lot of fun with it. Let's get ourselves up and prep for an actual battle, just in case we happen to run into something that the Romulans can throw at us that is quite powerful. And it's a dreadnought. It's a Praxis dreadnought. I think it's Praxis. I don't know what the PRA is, but PRAX immediately makes me think of Prax, and so that's why I name it as such. So let's increase our speed. We've actually been learning quite a bit about Romulan dreadnoughts because of our stream campaign, which we have every day at Wednesday at 5 o'clock. And during that campaign, we've learned that apparently the very beginning light dreadnoughts are Shrikes, which I thought was not how the Romulans named things. I always thought the Shrike was a frigate, but apparently not. So, we're going to start out, see if we can't get a full salvo on top of them. We've got the initial shot out. We'll slow down a little bit to make sure that it gets slightly out ahead of us. Distance of about 5 or 6 maybe, because we have noticed that 5 is a little bit close in terms of actual salvo density. The problem becomes that the MIRVs end up hitting the back of the ship rather than the front of the ship, which reduces the effectiveness of the primary salvo, because they have to chew through the shield, something that the MIRVs kind of do. Also, we ran into a couple of situations where the MIRVs would immediately detonate and leave the rest of the ship open, or the rest of the ship's defenses open to engage the actual salvo that we didn't want to be sucked up. So, we've got our full salvos out there. We're going to hit up to maximum speed and come immediately about. We'll let the salvo do its work, and after the initial hit, maybe there'll be something left. There should be. We've noticed that you can potentially kill a heavy cruiser with this kind of full bombardment, but 14 missiles is generally not enough to destroy an actual dreadnought. So, waiting for his initial reaction in his giant warbird-like looking vessel. And he did get hit by a couple of them, which is really nice. So that'll reduce the effectiveness of his forward shield even more. However, time to see whether or not our spacing was decent, because I would like him to hit the front of the shield. They did perfectly. Alrighty, so he is alive. Barely. Let's put out another full salvo. I think this will work in terms of timing. And I'm going to send out a probe to see whether or not we've actually dealt any damage to his ship's systems. That would be very helpful if his shuttle bay was offline. However, there's no real way to guarantee that. Nope. In fact, most of his systems are still online. He's only lost a single plasma wave torpedo and a single phaser. Most of the damage apparently has gone directly into his energy production, although he is accelerating at a speed of 9 and increasing. I was about to say 6, but no, the opposite of that. So let's see how he handles this one. He still has the shell bay, which means this is a potential weakness. He might be able to get the missiles out. However, distance is 22, distance is 17. Yeah, some of these missiles may actually work, even if he does drop the Wild Weasel. Let's see his response to it. He's turning into it. Oh, that's a really bad choice. And he's lost pretty much all of his shields at this point. He's reduced speed even more, and I think this will kill him. Yep. That is a full-on Romulan dreadnought. He took 2 and a bit salvos. All told, 31 missiles. 31 missiles is all that it took to completely annihilate an entire dreadnought. Now, granted, that's a lot of missiles when you actually break down the math, because each missile does 24 damage, but it's kind of sad just to see how easily we can burn our way through them. And they even lost a territory over here as we were making our transition. There's a station here which will actually be somewhat defensive and try and push back on us, but first we're going to knock out this little convoy escort. Hopefully we can take the station intact, after all, now that we are basically conquering the rest of the Empire. Anything we can take intact will move us forward into the next era with supplies that we can use against the other empires. Obviously that's not a real thing that we can do in-game, however, it is a nice little thing to think about. So I think we have the awesome nebula off to our starboard. Let's turn. Yes, we have one of the awesome nebulas. It's not the awesome nebula, which is even brighter and has a planet in the middle of it, but it's one of the better ones. So we are currently staring down a couple of freighters. No sign of the actual defenses as of yet. However, we're almost ready to sprint at maximum speed. As soon as the disruptors are charged and the capacitors filled, our energy needs go pretty much completely away. In fact, they do go completely away. We are capable of recharging every single weapon system on the ship in one turn. In case of the C-Rack, we are capable of charging every single weapon system on the ship in half a turn. And also, for some reason, the Phaser X's seem to fire on the half turn, which does interesting things for our power requirements. Another freighter and another freighter. Where is the escort? I think the escort has just arrived. Yep. That's the escort. And the way you can tell the escort is he's the only one not moving in the same direction, traveling at a speed of 10. So, yeah. This entire convoy, which is a fairly sizable convoy, is being escorted by a single armored freighter who has jumped up notions of his own capability. Well, since we're already traveling faster than we are capable of firing missiles at, I am tempted to reset them, but I do love being able to stack salvos so heavily. There's no point in firing. So this will probably be an energy engagement. We'll set our phasers to overload, disruptors set to normal, because there's no point in trying to charge them up. By the time we actually make it there, it will already be too close. So we'll nail him with pretty much every heavy energy weapon we've got and see what it does to him. I'm hoping that it destroys him, although he launched a pseudo-frigate. It's a Lyran pseudo-frigate, which makes it pretty much worthless, but he launched it. Alright, I think you're going to die on an overrun. Yeah, you've got 2 Phaser X's, 2 Phaser 3s. You simply do not stand any chance, my little friend. Surrender now. You have 3, 2, 1, yeah. Yep, that was the plan, and that plan worked out quite nicely. Alright, let's maximize speed time as we try desperately to recharge our systems. You also had a pseudo-frigate, how adorable. Alright, let's get relatively close to him and then open fire. Unfortunately, our forward shield is completely gone. Well, not completely gone, but badly damaged. Quite a few of you had pseudo-frigates. Interesting. This is literally interesting, because they don't normally do this. Normally, only the escort is equipped with any sort of weapon system in general, so this is rather astonishing with how much defense they've decided to actually put into this one. Okay, we've lost... Well, our forward shield is still getting quite low, which is not grand. And I'd prefer not to have to fire a missile at you, but I'm going to. Take this. Take this. So we've dealt with the pseudo-frigates. Wonderful. Our forward shields are still quite heavily damaged, and that's something that we're going to have to resolve in relatively short order. This will get you to stop. This will get you to stop. And we're going to pace these. Just pace them out so they'll actually hit. Although it's going to take a little while for it to actually get the range that we need it to get. Yep, you wild wizzled. We expected that. So this. That'll kill you. This will set to all... Do you seriously want me to invest actual effort into killing you? You may go away now. We'll actually give him... Actually don't want to bother with anything. Fire this at you. Come back over here. No, we're going to shoot this at our buddy over here. That'll do that. And this. There. We're just a one-man missile launch. Which, you know, makes perfect sense, but still. Wild Weasel yet? Oh, apparently not. Set our missiles to all missiles, and one missile. Change that to all, because I'm not really all that concerned. Yeah, there goes that freighter. So we've got 2 interceptors left. I'm not quite sure who launched them, but we're going to find out relatively shortly. And we will fire that at you. That'll take care of you. And really, let's just give him some pain. Because he's decided to irritate me. 36 missiles, although in effect 6 missiles. He shouldn't be able to handle them. Although the missiles do get a little bit dragged out, they don't deal quite as concentrated damage as other weapon systems. You're alive? Really? Making me look bad. So we have point defense tractors being engaged, used to defend ourselves against incoming fire. How are you going to handle this? Let's find out. Relatively well. Disruptors. Just a lot of disruptors and not a whole lot of damage. And we'll bounce. Oh no, I have 3 disruptors. Good. I did not mean to fire all of my weapons at a missile. He's dead. That's a lot of missiles. Ah, completely wasted. Fireworks. Fireworks for our impending victory. So let's just increase the speed time as we'll curl on into this last guy. You're already done for, sir. You may as well give up. Surrender is a perfectly acceptable thing to do. Especially considering how badly outgunned you are. Gatling phasers. There we go. I'm really surprised that his pseudo-frigate buddies didn't actually try and help him out. I mean, I understand that the fighters on the attacker side are kind of glitchy in that they will immediately go for the convoy instead of anything else. But as things stand now, that was just weird. I would expect him to be set to defend me, or at least attack me. Another tile down. Let's go knock on the station's door. It's a perfect MET time patrol. Hopefully we will not have to fight the station itself, as fighting stations themselves is very dangerous. We are at 39,000 prestige. Holy crap. We can literally buy 3 dreadnoughts. Oh, maybe not. It's 14,000, aren't they? Is the BBX? We'd have to find out. No point in prepping a scatter pack. I was too in the mental position of trying to set things up as if I were in stream, because in the stream we're still flying our Orion Pirate campaign, which has been going pretty decently. We're moving through. We're down to a single X-type destroyer once again. However, we've managed to knock out every single planet of the enemy, so they're all down to their single 5-level cartel defense tiles. So the moment we take out all of those, well, then we'll finally be able to win that campaign. So probably next week will be when that campaign ends. So if you want to have a say in figuring out which faction fighting who is the next person we play as, show up at 5 o'clock on Wednesdays. So we're getting our initial salvo out. We're going to make this a quick step just because they have been a little bit annoyingly effective lately, and I'm not super happy about it. So I figure the longer distance we force in between them, the less chance he'll have of trying to cloak. So we'll kick it up to maximum power and increase the speed of time. As now we're just waiting. We play the waiting game. Tempted to launch another set of salvos, but we don't have enough control for it. So we're just going to stay away from him, let him have to deal with what's incoming. If he gets those things behind him, he will have a very easy time with them because he can outrun them. But it looks like, yeah, 160 damage. Beautiful. It's exactly what we want to see. Send a probe, see if we've actually got him completely crippled or... Yeah, he's completely crippled. Alright. That'll do him in. That's got him. Flat out right there. 88 missiles, 28 in total. He won't be able to survive this. Not after 160 damage and all of this ship system damage. Not a whole lot of weapons went down, but the rest of the ship is just crippled. Yep. So far away, we can't even hear the sound through space. We couldn't even see that he had shields. We only knew that he had shields because the missiles stopped before they actually hit his hull. For all we knew, that was a brand new armored design that did away with that sort of thing. Empire defense of 9. It will be gone in a relatively short period of time. We'll take the tile next to it as long as we're waiting. May as well chill. We are going to stop by one of our repair yards, see if we can't get ourselves a couple more XCBs, because I would like to see just how hilarious 132 missiles are in a single salvo. So we are being escorted today by the Hunt King, which appears to be some form of drone cruiser. It's a smaller drone cruiser with a fast-firing missile rack and a pair of Bs for extended magazines, as well as other HCWs, so heavy war destroyers. The Schreiber's stuff, who is quite clearly being loaned to us or purchased by a pirate, because he's got 2 D-type plasma torpedoes, 2 Gs, and an S. So he is very much a pirate vessel. Because we do not use plasma torpedoes, although that would be an interesting thing. We are facing off against an FHM. We're going to have to get a quick step salvo on the way ASAP. And the main reason, because these guys are going to surge forward as fast as they possibly can, and the moment they get within range, he will react to them. So if we can actually get a real salvo in time, we might be able to cause enough damage to cripple him so that by the time they actually engage, things will be nice and easy for them. Setting off with the rest of the salvo, and now. Full power, pull away, and that's the game we play. So right now, for the next season contestants, the 2 main factions that appear to be having interest are Hydrons and ISC. Of the 3 that we can pick Hydrons, the ISC, or the Gorn. The Gorn have received no such love at all. So, sadly, the Gorn players are going to have to feel a little bit left out. But both the ISC and the Hydrons have received people who would like to see campaigns. And the funny thing is, So far, most of them want to see them fight each other. So one group wants to see the Hydrons fight the ISC with us as the Hydrons, and the other group wants to see the ISC with us as the ISC fight the Hydrons. That is one heck of a trip. Oh, and there has been one vote for Hydrons versus Lyrans, which I would be down for, but then again, I would be down for any of them. So it is entirely possible that next season is going to be something in the order of 150 episodes. This campaign has sort of been a trial run for me for seeing what happens when you go to fight somebody who's not sort of on your borders. And, well, the reason why this is over 50 episodes is we had to spend quite a while in our own space building up to a battleship so that we could actually make that kind of long journey without constant support and resupply. Now, one of the things, though, that made that possible was the fact that missiles constantly resupply for free, and because we were able to abuse missile logic, we could basically hang at maximum range and just shell people to death. Now, we didn't have quite the same refined tactics as we've come to expect now, where we know exactly the amount of firepower that we need to spend in order to destroy something, but we had the ability to engage somebody without ever actually having to risk our armor or our shields, which meant that battles could be relatively safe. The Hydrons can't do that. Sure, there's a couple of Hydron vessels that go super heavy on the Hellbores, which are a fantastic long-range weapon, but the vast majority of Hydron designs are designed to work with fusion cannons, which are point-blank range. So, while this season I was able to pretty much avoid having to use any sort of stations, I don't think I'm going to have that luxury unless we run into a couple of planets in the neutral zone on our way all the way to the other side. Now, the ISC have it a little bit easier. The PPD, the Plasmatic Pulsar Device, is excellent at that sort of long-range combat, but they tend to work in larger fleets to be the most efficient, so that could get ugly really quick. Though I haven't decided yet, there is still time to get your votes in, at least until the end of this season, so if you happen to know when that'll happen. There's actually a sun? Wow, I have not seen a sun in so long in this game. Well, not in this game, but just in Starfleet Command in general. Okay, that took care of everybody. You're next. And you're next. Oh, whoops, shouldn't have done that. Well, we'll come around, we'll take care of everybody. Shot down two of them, and then he died. He tried. Oh, we picked the right person to fire the MIRVs at. I kind of want to go explore that sun. Like, the suns in this game are real. They're there, and they have a corona, and if you get close to them, you will die. It's fantastic. But in this case, well, there's just not going to be enough time. I mean, we could go on a long, epic journey into the sun, because the closer you get, the more damage you take. So as you can, it's very similar to passing through a dust field. But if we wanted to, we could go towards the sun and eventually kill ourselves as we tried to get close to it. Wow, I have not seen one in Starfleet Command 2 Orion Pirates ever. So that's really cool. I'm really happy to have seen that. By the way, that's the giant ball of burning gas. Sounds are cool. You on the other side, you're dead. You just... yeah, goodbye. You stood no chance against the amount of firepower that we had. Especially not with your systems offline. I mean, I gotta say, that was a bit of a dick move on my part to show up when you weren't ready. But at the end of the day, you're pirates. So why would I give you any respect at all? Pirates are evil. And tile still not taken, but it's now to an Empire defense of 4. We'll pop right back in. It's a convoy raid. This'll flip the tile. Well, this'll make the tile neutral. And I probably should hang around to flip the tile. Just because it is a station and you really don't want to leave. Oh, hi. You're a Praxis Dreadnought. You're a point-blank range. All power to engines and tractor beam. Phasers to overload. At this point, honestly, I'm really tempted to shut off my disruptors because I don't think I'm going to need them. We are also going to need a Wild Weasel conversion to go. And, yeah. We'll tractor beam them. We'll nail them with every single weapon system that we can possibly get our hands on. We've got 2-ish turns by the time we actually get there. Maybe 1.5. We'll probably get about 1 free salvo in before he has his plasma torpedoes ready to rock. So let's get our forward shield reinforced to reinforced power. And more speed. More speed. All the speed you can manage. Our starboard side disruptors are now charging. We need to get right on top of him. For obvious reasons. We're going to bomb him. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time with it. Of course, our tractor beam will deactivate, but that's the price of doing business with the Romulans, unfortunately. I don't know what glitch that is. I don't know why it occurs, but it does occur. Let's come up top. You ready to bomb them? Tractor beam's offline. Come back. Hopefully it'll be charged in time. Prepare the bombs. 3, 2, we're in range. We're too close. We're too close. Crap, we're too close. Oh, we're too close for our missiles, but our phasers were surprisingly effective. I'm gonna count that as a positive. Come back to a normal view. We may as well. Hi, I'm gonna hold on to you for a little while. We're gonna be buddies. Bestest buddies. Slow down, actually. Get our forward shield reinforcement to a pretty decent level. We're gonna let go very soon. Yeah, we're gonna want to let go now. Fire everything on this path. See if we can't shove into it. Oh, we spread it out. Haha. Oh, he's having a bad day. Oh, he's gonna be able to defend against that. Yep. As we predicted, he was going to be able to defend against that. However, I still have the rest of this. And you don't. I got you. You're dead. Maybe not. Maybe he will survive this. That's going to be a painful amount of damage right there. Wow, that took out the entire shield. You do not have any sort of shuttle bay anymore. I'm going to pull away from you, see if I can't get some of this damage off of me. Patch the engine. Oh, you little jerk. Fire the gosh darn MIRVs. And fix that, please. Get that all sorted, and you might die to this. But I'm going to make sure. We're going to find out in a second. Yeah. Okay, you're getting that. And hi, buddy. You're doing that. That's for shooting at me when I was busy with other people. You got to be the first one to die. Now, maybe that was your plan. And if it was, no power to you. He did a lot of damage to our shield. He actually got a couple of shots through. That's one of the things about this ship that we do not have compared to a battleship. We do not have the armor of a battleship. And it shows. Let's get him to shut off his defenses. I'm actually going to space these out. 5, 5, 5. Yeah, it's a bit of a long running in, but that'll make sure that he dies. And prepare for the follow-up with the rest of the heavy weapons, because he is a Q ship. He's an FQL, so he is armed with heavy plasma torpedoes. There we go, you're dead. What are you? You are also an FQL maneuvering to engage me. Oh, really, are you? I get it now. It was a trap. Interesting. Full power. Full powered engines. All of our energy systems are charged. Yep, his forward shields are down. We are taking hits in that we do not want to take. But we'll wait for that to impact and then we'll be good. We want to stay away from these plasma torpedoes because they're painful. Okay, you. And it does look like they do respond to the initial missile salvo. You. I would like to prefer you to not be shooting me in my back. I think it's very uncool, and you should stop doing it full power. We're out of here. You're dead. I mean, you're dealt with. This little guy, he's the last one. He is all that remains between, well, us and victory. Yeah, you're dead. You are beyond dead. Okay, let's fire one of these. Pull away. So this will promote him to doing what we want him to do. How are we doing a speed of... Oh yeah, because one of our disruptors is not charging. I was like, how are we doing a speed of 29? Clearly that is ridiculous. And the answer was, well, because one of our disruptors isn't working. And that ought to kill you. Wow, standing up to a lot, but not everything that we can throw at you. At the end of the day, you had no defense. That seems to be a very common theme here. I mean, yeah, he had defenses. They just weren't sufficient. We did take a pretty decent amount of damage on this one, unfortunately. 414 prestige, but it doesn't really matter, and the tile's neutral. And we had a friendly planet nearby. Let's pull into dock. Hi, we're back. We have 40,148 C-bills. Prestige. Not C-bills, prestige. So the BBX is 13,569. We can buy 3 of them. If we wanted to, we could absolutely do it. I could buy both of these battleships right now. The reason why we're not going to is because these battleships are equipped with nothing but normal missiles. They have 8 missile rack Bs, 4 missile rack Cs, 12 missiles in total. That is not a sufficient amount of missiles to get through anybody's point defense in this era. You really do need a lot of MIRVs. We could get an XCA, the next type heavy cruiser, but it doesn't have all the MIRVs that I want. I want XCBs. So the XCA is pretty decent ship, don't get me wrong, but it's equipped with 6 missile rack 6 missile rack Vs and 4 missile rack Bs. So 10 instead of 14. So not tremendously psyched about it. It does have a better energy armament, so it's more flexible in that regard. But I want missiles. Now there is also the XSC, which is a little tiny scout ship. It is equipped with 1 MIRV, 2 B racks, and then a couple of phase arrays. It's designed to go out range ahead of you. If I could pass off drone links to it, I might buy it, because that would be a useful thing to have. But you can't. There are, however, 3 battleships here that I could buy that I'm really tempted to do just for the lulz on that one. And then there's also a battleship carrier. We just have too much cash. That is it at the end of the day. We have too much prestige. However, we are now done in this lower left-hand corner of the Romulan Star Empire. The southwest of their empire has completely collapsed. They have nothing left. And now the only thing that remains is off here on the eastern side of the empire. And this little tiny tile up here. But that's going to do it for today's episode. So next episode, I very much believe we will have completely finished off the Romulans. Anyway, I've been Tirak. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to see a notification every time I release one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.